So, just for fun, the two main parts of belief for the Messiah, Jesus, they just rely on really two things. The entire premises rely upon the Passover lamb, Jesus being your Passover sacrifice, saving you from death, and the atonement, which is made on Rosh Hashanah, the atonement of the bulls and goats, which was offered by the high priest to atone for people's sins. That's the purpose of Jesus' death. He ends up being the atonement sacrifice for everyone so that your soul can go off into the third heaven. Now, these two set upon two things. One, the Passover lamb. The Exodus, when they're leaving Egypt, begins on Rosh Hashanah, and it takes a full year for them to actually complete it and get to the Passover. And on Passover night, that's when death passes over and you slaughter the lamb. So it takes an entire year for that lamb. The lamb's a year old. That's the Passover lamb, every year, a year old. Now, when we get to the binding of Isaac, the entire first shadow of Jesus and the entire first point of sacrifice is Abraham and Isaac going to be, Abraham's going to sacrifice Isaac. So Isaac, for one, isn't a child. He's a full-grown man. He's probably like 40 years old. He's a full-grown bull or a full-grown goat. And the other key is the church has no idea. They do not teach this. They don't know it. And it should highly be taught. It's a very important part of the story that it seems like the Christian church would really incorporate. It's that Abraham and Isaac, the reason that they're not fighting God on it, and we say it's because God will provide. The reason they're not fighting God, and this is in the Jewish literature that's been taught for ages, is because Abraham and Isaac believe that his sacrifice will be the sacrifice for the atonement of Adam's sin, for all of man's sin. And then from there on out, the kingdom of heaven that, is later to come will come, and everything is restored. Restoration's done, everything's complete. So God stops Isaac by giving him, by providing a ram in the thicket up there. Now, here's the other interesting part. The rabbis teach, the sages teach, that the Satan was so trying to stop the replacement that God was sending, the ram, that he took that ram and wrapped his head in thorns to restrain him and hold him. That's one. Two, after the sacrifice, after they sacrificed the ram in Isaac's place, Abraham cuts off these little guys, the ram's horns. This little guy goes on to be what's highly important. It's highly important in the tabernacle. It's highly important in the temple. It's highly important in the synagogues. When you blow this, you get God's attention. God says when he hears it, he will come. The notes blown through here actually declare deliverance. It's also a victory call. That's why it's blown on Rosh Hashanah. When everyone before Rosh Hashanah gets judged, and on the Day of Atonement, all their sins are forgiven, and they're atoned for, so they all blast this thing 100 times, declaring victory. Now, the other part that the church won't teach. There's two ram's horns. One ram horn was taken by Abraham to be used as a call of victory. This is the same thing that tore down Jericho. This thing is a powerful weapon in Judaism and spiritually. The other one was taken up, and it's reserved to be the one that is called and blown on the day the Messiah returns. So, just my little fun facts on I have no idea why the church ignores Rosh Hashanah, or, if you tell them most of them about this, they don't want to hear nothing about it. It confuses me, but there you go. There's a backstory to fill in a lot of your beliefs in Christianity. So anyways, shalom.